Hello everyone, welcome to my Flosstube update. I know it's been a pretty long while and there's not much I can do about it. Yeah, just a lot have happened. I will maybe talk about life stuff at the end. But I have a lot to show you, so for those who don't know, this is a channel about cross-stitching. I am Rita from Rita Marie Stitching Adventure. I'm also the admin of the Stitching Adventure game that is on Facebook. Yeah, I think that's everything I was supposed to say. If you're new, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. If you are a returning subscriber, as always, it's so appreciated that you are supporting me and my channel, even though I lately haven't posted that many Flosstube updates. So, but hopefully I will get better. But no promises. Life is like just insane. So yeah, I hope you can hear me like somewhat okay, because I don't have a place to put my microphone, so I kind of hope you just can hear me and that it doesn't sound too awful. Okay, so I'm gonna start with stash acquisitions and patterns that I have. Somebody was kind to borrow me, and I will do that first. Then I have finishes, and then I will go through my WIPs, and I will go through the WIPs I have on my 22 and 22 challenge, because with some finishes there has been some new project put in. So first off, daily 30, like it's a close group. I don't remember the full name right now, but it's a cross-stitch challenge group where you can earn tokens, and when you earn tokens you can use them in what they call the boutique, where you can then use your tokens to buy cross-stitching stuff. So I was able to get a lot of floss, which was really nice, from Crescent Colors and Cottage Colors. I have a collection of hand-dyed floss by Crescent Colors. So yeah, all of them is like Crescent Colors, and I think they're now called Classic Colorworks. Yeah, something like that. So I got those, which was really nice. Those specialty floss can be really expensive for me to get here in Norway. So usually I try to get my hands on that if there is any available. And then I got the lavender and lace, the wedding. I'm wondering if I have this in my stash, and if I have this in my stash, then this will be a future giveaway. And then I got some different kinds of fabric. Basic cloth. It doesn't, 18 count. Even weave. And 2 of the jar laces, some waist fabric, and 2 sets of 11 count Ada. So 11 count is a little big to stitch on, but sometimes it's nice with the 11 count. And usually what I most likely will do is I will hand dye them myself, and then they shrink a little bit so they're not like the full 11 count. Then I also got a stocking. It's a full kit. So that's gonna be nice. I do like this. It's with music on, so since I'm a music teacher, I might make that for myself. And then they have this stamped tablecloth. And I'm not sure if the floss is in there, but it doesn't look to be open, so I'm not sure if I need to buy the floss or what I need to do, but I thought it was like a nice... I know I have some in-laws that would love that kind of gift. So yeah. And then you can never have too many baby samplers. So I got this one. And yeah, I have been thinking of making some toys for kids. So I need like small animal motifs, just small motifs. I'm gonna need that, so I might use that for that. And I absolutely love this one, Operation Teddy Bear. Brown bear and the Candlelight Express. It's like a really cute bear. So, and they have like a bunch of specialty instructions. I'm not sure why that is in there, or is there's like a second pattern in here? Oh yeah, there's several patterns in here. You also have stained glass bookmarks. And then there's a Victoria sampler. And of course, Victoria samplers has a lot of specialty stitches. And then I bought 4 Christmas waist canvas. Not sure I'm gonna put them on clothing, but some of them with these I really liked. Like this one, I really could put on a t-shirt and wear and be so happy about it. So this might need to go on a t-shirt, not your nice. But like this mouse up here, I really loved, just to make into picture, the reindeers. So yeah, there's also a lot on the back. Many more minis, which is I do tend to like the mini ones. Because sometimes you just need a small motif, especially if I'm making coasters and stuff, and then, yeah. So I thought that would be fun. So that was what I got from Daily 30. And then, what is this? Yeah, I found a person on Facebook Market. No, not Facebook Market. It was one of those cross-stitching selling sites. She on Facebook, she is Wendy's Bead and Things, and the same on eBay. So what I got is all of the like regular size Mill Hill beads. And they come in this like little pack with just a few on them. But that's perfect for like if I need to make a conversion or anything like that, like I have. Then I have the color, so it's easier to make the conversion. And also if I just need a few, like there's a few in here. So there's the standard, the antique, and the frosted sets. So yeah, now I have all of those colors. So that was really nice. She also had that you can buy the set like with a bigger amount of beads. Of course it costs more, but like if you're interested in getting the full Mill Hill bead, that's a good way of getting it. Then Ida from the crafty Shield Maiden here on Flosstube. She's a good friend of mine that lives in Norway. She lives pretty far away, unfortunately, so it's not like I can just go and visit her, even though I would love to. So she was so kind to borrow me a couple of patterns that she had that she doesn't know if she is ever going to stitch. So she was like, oh, you can borrow it. And I'm like, yes, please. So I am borrowing Magnolia, and it has both the gray and the pink conversion, and we're gonna start this most likely around August together. Not this, but like Black Swan, and possibly make it into a sal. So yeah, my biggest issue is that I like both of them, so I don't know which one I want to make. And I was considering doing both for a while, but I think I have landed that I want to do the pink one. I think so. I'm not a very pink person, but for some reason I think that pops a little bit more. So yeah. And then I was able to borrow Nantucket Rose by Lavender and Lace, which I absolutely love. So yeah, I need to finish some stuff so that I can start new stuff. And then I'm also borrowing Gaia, the Earth Goddess by Bella Filipina. And Hannah Dowling from Hannah Dowling on Flosstube, she said that she is gonna start this like when the No New Starts ends. So I asked her if she wanted to start it together with me, because I would also love to start this when No New Starts end. So she said yes. So yeah. So looking forward to that one. She's pretty. So that was the patterns she was so kind to borrow me. And then she also did send me some goodies, because she has a store on Etsy, the Crafty Shield Maiden. So she made me a bookmark, which is lovely. And then she made these, what it's called, gouges. It's something with gouges. The name totally escapes me. But one of those that you can lay on your fabric to like kind of find out where you are gonna start from the edge, from the corner. And she has 4 different sizes. So I think the full is 4 inches. And then she has 3 inches. And I know she has 2 inches. And I think maybe the one in the middle is like 2.5 inches. So, and they're laminated. So it's not like you're gonna like sit and bend them a lot. So I think they will hold up really nicely. And it has this nice tassel, so it's easy to find. So yeah, and I think she is selling these on her store. So if you want something like that, go check her out. And she also sent me way back. She sent me some more floss drops that I was able to pick out what I wanted myself. and I absolutely love them. I don't like too much to take it out of the package, because then I end up with a mess. I don't like to take things out of the package until I'm actually gonna use it. So, but it's white with like this dark brown, just swirly pattern on, and I love them. I absolutely love them. They are so perfect. So, yeah. And then I got a really cool, I think it's a sticker. I'm not a craft hoarder. I'm the curator of an expensive craft supply collection. I thought that was a really fun quote. So yeah, and she always packs them like super nice. I don't pack things super nice, but it has these bananas. So yeah, that's goodies that I got, and then borrowing, and yeah, and then I had an order I did with Stitch and Button. She's on Facebook. So I got this lovely bag, Christmassy bag, with one of these, I'm not sure what they're called, but you can like put your floss and stuff on it, and it's words. I don't have words today. Sorry. I just don't have words today. Felt. There's this felt inside, so if you put your floss on there, they kind of stick to the felt and doesn't go away. Or you can use it as an Ort catcher. If you're out traveling, you can just put your ends in here, and that's the same as the bag, fabric as the bag. And it has, she always makes these beaded zipper pulls, which I love, with a snowflake. And then I also got some rings to hold floss straps, one with Hagrid and a dragon, and 9 3/4, and the words, yeah, the symbol, you know, the Harry Potter symbol, which I don't have words today. It is what it is. Welcome to my world. So that's gonna be put to good use. And then this bag is the reason that I ended up buying a lot more, because when it's shipping from the US, I kind of need to buy a good amount so it pays for shipping, because she was making Beauty and the Beast stained glass bags, and isn't that just perfect with blue inside? And yes, there's a lot of other goodies inside, because it couldn't travel alone. And it has this lovely blue zipper pull with a rose on it. Love it, love it, love it. And then, since stuff can't travel alone, I got some needle minders. And this one says, controlling my tongue is no problem. It's my face that needs deliverance. I love that. And then I got Mickey Mouse Halloween one And the other one says, if you see me with a seam ripper, now is not the time. Yep. And then I got a virtual stitchers one. And a Baby Yoda with a that you can use to take out stitches. And it's absolutely adorable Grogu. So yeah, it's those. And then I got another one of those with felt inside. This one. And then I got a Snoopy one. So that was my goodies from Stitch and Button. And I got this one was loose in my bag, so I'm not sure if she lost it in there or something, but it's 2022 Charm. So that's nice. And that was all of my haul. Yes! Let's get to finishes, because I have two really big ones, but I'm not going to show those first. And then I have some smaller ones, and I have one that I can't find. So yeah, that's how that is going. So I'm not sure if you saw this one. I did that for January ornament challenge. And I think I did this one for March, maybe? Finished. And then I did this little cute guy. It's a kit from Perman. This one I found in Gift of Cross Stitching magazine that I have as a PDF, and this one is Tiny Modernist. She has it's just called Christmas signs, and there's 4 different signs, and this is one of them. And I did some tweaking to make it fit, because I was like missing, I think, 3 or 4 stitches to make it fit. So I just made a few adjustments to make it fit in there. And I also have a snowman that I did, but I can't find it. And then I ended up deciding just not gonna do that challenge anymore, because it was bothering me with constantly having to start something new, because I don't have a lot of ornaments started. Usually I finish the ornaments I start. I think I have one on the go that I started like at the end of 2020, before I did no new starts. So yeah. So that's that. And then the big finishes. I finished Aladdin by Donut Stitch. I finished I don't remember how many page finishes this was, but I think it was 8 page finishes. No, 10. I actually think it was 10, because some of them I had like was almost complete, and when you saw it last, I think I had maybe done down to here. So everything else, no, I had more, because I had started the castle and stuff, but I hadn't completed this castle section, and I hadn't completed all of this and none of this. So yeah, I suddenly found out that I was really close to getting it done. I needed like 10,000 stitches in, was it April? Or I found out in March that I only needed like 10,000 stitches, I think. Wait a minute, I can find out when I finish stuff. I can find the information for you. I'm not gonna edit this, so you just have to deal with me. Talk amongst yourself while I'm finding the stuff. Yes, so this was finished 28th of May. So at the end of April, I noticed that I had like a little bit less than 10,000 stitches left, and I was like, oh, I can do that in a month. And I had a plan that I wanted to do Monogamania, and then I ended up doing flipped maybe. Instead of doing the first 15 days monogamously, I did like the last 15 days monogamously, because I wanted to kind of get all of the stuff I needed to get stitched that wasn't Aladdin done, and then the rest I just stitched on Aladdin until I got it done, and then I switched up project. So yeah, it's finished. It was started 30th of January in 2020. And I did a total of 37,144 stitches over 147.31 hours over 50 days. And those 50 days wasn't, like when I say 50 days, I just touched it for 50 days. It doesn't mean like I did a bunch of stitches all of those 50 days. But I think it was a pretty good achievement to get done. Like, you can really get a lot done when you just focus on stuff. That's what I have found out this year. When I have a limited amount of projects I'm working on, I really get a lot done. And then the biggest finish. This one got finished on 31st of March of 2022. So, and it is Cinderella. She's done, guys, with all her beads and treasures and everything. She's fully done. I did a total of 45,526 stitches and beads. That's also including beads, backstitching, everything. I used 211.5 hours and 96 days to finish her. Of those 45,526 stitches, 1,140 of them were beads and 19 treasures. So there is almost 1,200 beads and treasures on this one. Not quite, but close. So yeah. But she's beautiful. And if you're wondering what this is a pocket that I use for my almanac frame, which you will see when I show my whips. Because I have one project on the frame and I'm not taking it off. Because I made those pockets make it easy to take on and off. because I really hate taking the projects on and off the frames. The Omnic is the best ones because I can make the pockets. I was the same way with Q-snaps. Like usually I will end up having like at one time I think I had 6 Q-snap that was like fully functional, wasn't broken, and I would all the time I will end up like using all of them, and then I like which one to take off because I didn't want to take any of them off. So yeah. So far this year I have had 7 finishes. And 4 of them is the ornaments that I have stopped doing. The first one I finished was Warrior by Firing Designs, of the non-ornaments, and then Cinderella, and then Aladdin. So now I'm not sure what I'm gonna end up finishing next, but I'm guessing it's gonna be something, because it would be really nice to knock a few more projects out of my pile. So, my active WIP list. I'm not sure how well you can see that on the screen, because for me it looks totally bonkers. So this is how my list looks now. You can see I haven't filled out to 22 projects. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces left that is unused and gonna stay unused at least for a little while. I keep them open because I know I'm gonna have one more start this year. I'm gonna start Magnolia by Black Swan. So that's one of the spots, and I'm really tempted to like pull out some of my other full coverage projects, like the bigger ones, like the Evolutions or 5 Disney Princesses. So I'm kind of just keeping it open. Just in case I really, really want to start something. So yeah. But I try to be good about not putting something on my list unless I have one of the spots that is already taken has been finished, so I can put in another one. So the first one on my list, which hasn't changed, is Mini Still Here by Hade. It was started the 7th of November of 2017. You can see there's stitches going around the Omnic frame, and also with this one I have made the pockets. So as you can see, the dowel of the frame is like inside the pocket, which makes it really easy to take on and off. It takes a little bit while to like I sew that pocket by hand, and I'm very careful about making the pocket so it's like straight, like the stitches, because if I follow the fabric it will stay straight on the fabric, because then the fabric will not warp when being in the frame, because it's straight on the rods. So here she is. She hasn't got a lot of work this year, but you know, a little bit here and a little bit there. I do a minimum of 300 stitches each month on her, so that adds up to something. And this month is actually the month I have done the most of on her, I think. This month I worked more on the wing and this background. And as you can see, last month I did this like where the wing comes out from her back section, and as you this year. I think I got the face this year. I don't think I had it last year. I think I had some of the hair, but I finished the hair. And these like strands hanging down. She looks so pretty. I think I also, yeah, I'm gradually just working down, so I have worked down the whole width of the project basically. And as you can see, there's a lot of needle minders on here to hold all of my floss in different directions. Yeah. Because suddenly, I don't know, I was just, usually I only use 3 needle minders, and then suddenly I was like, no, I'm just gonna put more on this one. Because it's so confetti heavy everywhere, I don't have a good place to put this. And I don't want to put it directly on my floor because the floor is dirty. Okay. Stay. Let's hope it stays there. So yeah. Then I need to do some digging in my pile of stuff and things. Because I thought I wanted to do these in the correct order of how they appear on my list. So next one on the 17 project I have of the 22 is Cinderella in Rags and Riches by Joan Elliott. It was started the 11th of January of 2018. And so far they're also in chronological order. That's going to change soon, but not yet. So I have done a tiny bit on this, but it wasn't much. I needed it for a prompt or challenge. But the thing is, this is one I want to try and start focus on to do a good amount of on each month. I have like 5 categories that I work on each month for that I do together with a friend. Like she does drawings on different categories, and we find project that fits and work on those and set like a goal on how many stitches you're gonna do that month, which is a really high goal. It's like supposed to be something you really have to work at to achieve. So I hope that next month, because this month it didn't work, but next month I hope to get this one on the list and work a really good amount on it. That would be fun. So that's one I want to try and focus a little bit more on in the future. Then when I finished Cinderella, that spot was open for a fairly long time. Don't I have that part? Yes, there it is. And I was really itching for a bigger full coverage project. Mini Still Hair is so confetti heavy. Like I need something that has, and something that also has a little bit more color. And I was watching Needle Ninja. She's back again. Welcome back to Flosstube. I love watching her stitch with me. And she does 10 stitching. So I was like, oh, I got that itch for doing full coverage 10 stitching. So I replaced this month, I believe, I put her in, or like the beginning of this month. Maui Princess by Hade. Artwork is Hannah Lynn. It was started the 1st of January 2018. And now you can see we're not in chronological order anymore. So yeah, so I worked my way over to this point and has started working from the right side, because that the way I like to do 10 stitching works perfect from the right side. So I absolutely love this, and those blue colors, those like electric blue colors, they're so much fun to stitch with. I was actually sad because I had to put it away because I needed to pull out another project for some prompt, and I'm actually looking forward to the next time I'm gonna pull this one out. Like, so yeah, we'll see how much I get done on that this year. But I'm really like loving working on that project. Like, I want to pull it out and work on it. So we'll see what happens. Then number 4 is Alice in Wonderland series by Brooks Books. It was started the 9th of February 2018. And this is the one I drew on a really long piece of fabric, 18 count, that I dyed myself. I started in the middle where I'm gonna have the dormouse, because I have made my own order I want to have them in, and I'm slowly working my way towards the left side where Alice is gonna be the first one. So this is the second project, is gonna be around here. So I'm getting close to working this border over to where Alice is going to be, and get it started from the beginning, how I usually like to stitch on projects. So that's fun. And this I've gotten like a fair amount, not a fair, this has gotten a small amount of stitches this year, but I have taken it out and worked on it. Those checkerboard pattern is like really easy to work on when I'm just sitting in front of the TV. And I think that's why I don't work on it as much, because it's kind of, I have to do something else to work on it. And lately I haven't been doing that because I haven't had the mental capacity to both watch TV and sit and stitch. That might sound crazy to you, but that's how my life is. Then number 5, I had a new start. When I finished Aladdin, I started Winter's Eyes by Carolyn Manning Design. So this was started the 30th of May of 2022. It's on an 18 count Aida. And you can see the pocket is there. And I can tell you, when I started stitching on this, I hated it. It's true. I absolutely hated it. But then I had put it up for a prompt where I needed to do a lot of blue stitches. And I was like, this is perfect to just do a lot of blue stitches, because most of it is in blue colors. Even some of the lighter ones here is like 3752 and those really light blue colors. And I hated it. And then when I just got like this first border somewhat completed and started stitching further down, like started to frame the work, especially when I worked over here and starting to get the frame, it's like, now I'm in love with this one. I absolutely love working on it. Like how I like this project has gone from absolute hate to absolute love. And it's one of those, I'm like, when I'm not feeling too well, I'm like, I'm so sad I don't have Winter's Eyes on my frame, because it would really be nice to just work on Winter's Eyes. Because the color blocks are just big enough that it's nice to do without it getting without getting too big blocks of colors, and it's not getting too tedious. So yeah, I'm loving this one. So that's the new product. We like new projects. Or I think the reason I don't love stitching on it in the beginning is I like the thought of starting a new project. I like the thought of stitching on that project, but I don't like to actually start it. Like, I need to get that 1,000, 2,000 stitches in on a project, and then I'm like, now I'm loving it. Now I'm absolutely in love. This one I'm gonna work on. If I don't get those stitches, I'm like, this isn't so fun. So, yeah. So all of those projects I started before in 2020 with just 200 stitches. Those are going to be a hassle to pull out because most of them only have like 200 stitches on them. Not good. Not good. But I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to get those 1,000, 2,000 stitches in on them, and then I'm going to love them again. And then we have a project that I found that I might be able to finish this one also this year. So that's fun. This is number 6 on my list, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet by Aurora CS on Etsy. It was started 1st of May of 2022. So it was my start of Stitch Mania in 2022. And if you have been here for a while and you remember in Mania of 2022, I had like this goal that I had to do X amount of stitches. I think it was 4,000 stitches or something before I could do a new project. So all of those got a lot of work done, and I wasn't so fond of this. And I was like doing the leaves and stuff, and I was like, not that fond. And then I got to the blue sky, and I'm absolutely in love. And now I got to the head of Winnie the Pooh and some of the grass and some of the flowers, and it's looking so good, and now I'm absolutely loving it. So there is a big chance I might try to finish this year. And the funny this is actually a large full coverage. But the funny thing is, I have some full coverage projects that are like small and medium, and it's like, what does a small full coverage project look like? You'll see. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not that small because it's a lot of work. I just have to pack everything up because I am pulling everything. I am basically doing a mini WIP parade of my active WIP list of 2022 for you guys. Yeah, need some organization here. Next up is Halloween Calendar by Tiny Modernist. It was started 11th of September 2019, and this one I am doing with the same friend that I'm doing the categories, and I'm doing this as a cell. So these blocks are finished. Maybe I can take the clamp off so you can see. So it's those sides are finished. The top is fully finished. I finished this row that was the May section I decided, and this is the June section, and I do this as Daily 30 has like a new prompt every week. That's, you have 2 weeks to complete them, but you get a new one each week. With the it's on the normal events, where you stitch on a cell and you need 300 stitches. So I'm using this one for that. Not always, but a lot of the time. So I don't have 300 stitches left. Yes, I do. Yes, I have 300 stitches left. But it's Friday today, so I needed to wait until they released the new week for me to do the 300 stitches, so I could use that for that prompt. If that makes sense. So I think June section is gonna be finished in June. But the thing is, with this sal, you can't stitch ahead of the time, but you can, like, if I hadn't completed like the January section, which was these 3 right here, I could do them now. So you can play catch up like throughout the whole year. If I wanted to, I could pack this away in a corner and do all of it at the end of December. But I don't want to do that. I want to try and do it as a sal, and I have made what I'm supposed to stitch, I have picked out myself. So I chose the months with 31 days have 3 blocks, and the months with 30 or lower days have 2 blocks that I need to finish. And December is also only 2 blocks because that's a really busy month for me. So that's the exception to the first one. And then I just have picked out, so for January it was, I think it was 11, 18, and 25 I did. May was 17, 24, and 31. June is 26 and 27. And then July and August, I think maybe are some of these. Yeah, I don't have the numbers before me. And I pick them out from like finishing the top section. So this was also part of like February and March, the top blocks. And the Happy Halloween is equal of 4 blocks, so that was divided into 4 blocks. So I decided when I picked what I was working on, I wanted to do the left side, the top, the right side, because then everything now, the rest of the year, fit in this 11 by 17 Q snap without problem. I don't need to take it out. So I just make it not this tight when I leave it, so it's movable. And then it's easy to pull out whenever I need to do 300 stitches on it. So yeah, that's that project. And now I need to try and make some more room. I don't have enough room in my life. Okay, I'm gonna move this because I'm afraid it's gonna fall and knock a glass off that I have on my side here. One piece. So yeah. Okay, I'm rambling. This is gonna be a long one, so if you need to hit that pause button and go and find something to eat, drink, if you haven't pulled out some stitching, like you really should. And we will get back to my whips now. So, number 8 is a Star Wars Christmas ornament, which you can find in this, I don't remember what it is, what the name is. I bought it on Etsy. Bitsy bags? Bitsy bobs? I think it's Bitsy something, the name. I don't think it has the name on it, no. It's, at least it's from That's So Kelly & Co. She is the one making these on Etsy. So if you find her shop, you can find these things. And it's a Millennium Falcon because it's Star Wars. So of course, this is a project by Up to the number 2 X Stitch on Etsy. It was started the 4th of May, May the 4th be with you, of 2020. And it's stitched on a 14 count black Aida. It only uses 3 colors of floss, and it looks so amazing. And this is also one, I'm not like focusing now on finishing it, but definitely when we hit July, if there's gonna be like a Christmas in July stuff, I really want to try and work a lot of this. I'm almost finished with this border. I only need to do the blue one. This has been the most boring part to do, is like this section, this band. And then we're getting to the house in Tatooine. This is the snow on the top of the house in Tatooine. This is like those round thing you have on your Christmas hat. You know, the white thing on the Christmas hat. This is Luke's, that thing on his Christmas hat. And this is just a planet thing. And we're gonna get R2-D2, and then there's gonna be a border, and then there's gonna be like lightsabers and some Stormtrooper and Darth Vader border at the bottom. So it's I don't think that, like, the section I'm gonna get to now, this where there's like a lot going on with Luke and Tatooine, the house in Tatooine, and there's like a lot of stitches going on, but I think it will be a lot quicker than everything else, because this is so all of this, especially all the snowflakes. You can see I already started to do these snowflakes when I did this white border, just to get them, most of them done. There's still more left to do, but most of them, because I don't jump with the white floss, because that's going to show through. So yeah, this is the back of my project. I know, it looks really neat. It looks super neat. It's like those super, super pretty backs of a project. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to working more on this, getting that repetitive border done, and especially getting to R2-D2. He's like having, he's making a hologram of a Christmas tree. I think that's so adorable. So I'm really looking forward to stitching that. So that's also a potential finish this year, like, in all honesty. The only project I'm not going to show is the Frosty Forest series. I didn't take it with me because the last Stitch With Me episode I had to remove because some way I managed to get the wrong video. I think in the editing, what I usually do, I will add in a video when already one is inside the editing program, and then I will remove the first one. And there was it was acting up the program. So in doing that, I think it ended up deleting the wrong video file. So it deleted the new one I have put in, which was the one it was like the one it was supposed to be, and it had the old one still there. So that episode got repeated. So now my A to C Stitch With Me is missing I don't know, an L. So yeah, and I tried to find the video. I tried to see if I could repair and get that back, but it was impossible. Like, it was deleted from my phone. By the time I figured this out, it was deleted from my phone. It was deleted from my computer. So the raw footage, I just can't get a hold of it. That got me like really discouraged. because I was on a really good roll getting those A to C stitch with me's out. And now it's just hard picking it up because of that. It is gonna come back. I just, there's so much going on in my life. I don't need anything that is hard to pull out. So, yeah. And then, next up is number 10. It's Tapestry by Ink Circles. It was started 29th of July 2018. It's gonna look like this when it's done. Not really, because I'm doing my own floss conversion together with Stitching Mommy. We started this one together. It's stitched on a 56 count pale yellow by Extrude Design. You can find her on Etsy. So if you want fabric that is smaller count, Extrude Design is the lady to go, and her fabric is amazing to work with. Like, I have worked with 40 counts that are harder to work on than this. This 56 count is easier than another 40 count I have, just because, I don't know, it's something with her handling the fabric. Like, the holes are just really nice and open and easy to see. At least as easy as 56 counts can be. So for me, with the perfect eyesight, it's no problem. And it looks amazing. This you might have, I might not have done anything since last time you saw it, because I don't think I worked on it anything else than January. So, yeah. And I couldn't have my normal floss that I use, because I'm using a pearl cotton to stitch I have talked about this a lot. You know, this place where the Omnic frame dowel rod is going in. My pocket! My pocket. So I ended up using Sulky Sliver, which I have also used to grid, like Maui Princess is gridded with the same thing. Like, you can't pierce that floss, and I feel like it's really sturdy. So I used that to make the pocket width, because the other floss was just too thick on a 56 count. And that's actually what I did after I finished Aladdin. Like, I got really like burnt out doing that many stitches on just one project and not really switching to anything else. So I was burnt out, like seriously burnt out. So then what I ended up doing, I had a day where all I did was sewing pockets on like all the project I knew I was gonna have on my Omnic frame in the future. Not all projects I can have on the frame, because I don't have enough extra fabric at the top and bottom, and some of them are just, they're so small, it's not worth it. So the next one is number 11, is Santa Secret by Dimensions. It was started 7th of December 2018. And I think this is the same as you saw it the last time, because this also is one that I think I only worked on in January and haven't pulled out since then. But what I did, one of the things I did was that I backstitched the eyes, and I'm so glad I did. There's more backstitching because he's gonna have like glasses, gold glasses, and you have to use the couching method to get it on there. But that's fine. So all of the gold in the ornaments is also done with couching. So that's one that I really should be able to finish this year. I don't know. this is my medium full coverage. So this is just a medium. It's still a lot of things to do. But it's, don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's just, I think it's one of those, when we hit July, Christmas in July, that's when I start to like pulling out my Christmas projects. I'm not one that like to stitch Christmas all the time. And usually I'm like one of those that in October, that's when I want to work on Halloween stuff. In December, that's when I want to work on the Christmas stuff. It's just the way I am. Next up, number 12 on my list, Lion King by Disney Dreams. It was started the 1st of December of 2018, and this is a small full coverage. Yeah, that's the back. And of course I have done more work for myself as usual. So most of Rafiki, Simba and Nala is done 1/1. Like Simba's mane is over 2, and like Rafiki's beard and his like chest hair is over 2. But the rest is gonna be 1/1 on the animals. And of course rest of the project is over 2. So this one I really should be able to finish, because all I have left is like filling in this area right here. And the worst backstitching was on Kiara, Rafiki, and Simba's face and mane, and Nala. So the only backstitching I left that is like really complicated is Nala, and hers isn't really that bad. Like she's the best of them. And actually doing most of the fur and stuff 1/1 was really helpful. With the few, you can see I have a backstitching floss hanging here, like a floss that I'm backstitching with. That was really nice doing some of the backstitching, because it's like you backstitch in the middle of the stitch. So having done 1/1, that's fairly easy to do. If you have done over 2, like his mane, then that's hard to do. So yeah. But it is getting there. And I do hope to finish it this year, but I'm not gonna push myself to do it. It's like, if I get it done, I get it done. And if I cannot get it done, then it's just not gonna happen. Then number 13 is D&D by Kicks Stitches on Etsy. It was started 29th of April 2020. This is a mystery fabric I got from a friend. It says, be aware of the smiling dungeon master, and this is the start of a dragon, and there's going to be a dragon here, and this is a D20, so it's a 20-sided dice. So yeah. And I'm not using like the called for colors, but I'm using similar what I had in my stash, some unnumbered floss. So I know approximately what color it's supposed to be. So it's like, it's going to be pretty similar, but not the same. Then we have, where can that project be? Here she is. When I decided I didn't want to do the ornaments anymore, then at the end of May, I decided I wanted to find a project to put in that space. So I don't have all of the spaces where there have been a project before, I want to be constantly filled. So I needed a small one. No, I needed a medium one, because this is the one where Warrior from Firewind Design was. This is the medium one. So this is Little Fairy. It's a kit by Lanarte. It was started 25th of December of 2020. And you can see my pocket on here already. And this is where I have got to. So it's a silhouette, so it's just black stitching. It's really nice to pull out, especially if I want some quick stitches. So yeah. But since it was just recently put into my active WIP list, I haven't had a chance to work on it yet. But there it is. So now it has the potential to be stitched on. Really, that one shouldn't take that long to finish if I just stitched on it, but I tend to not liking to stitch on the medium small ones. I like my large and big amazing projects that I have. It is what it is. So instead of the small ornaments that I were doing, I decided to put in Joy Needlebook by Tiny Modernist. It was started 23rd of August of 2020. And this is how far I got. So it's a needle book, so you have two sides. So this is one of the sides and this is the other side. And it's going to be folded, and that's the back stitching line for where I'm gonna be whip stitching. So that's basically all I have done. It's not worked on this year, but now you have seen it, and it's on my active WIP list. Again, this was at the end of May. I decided to just fill all the spaces that where I had project but wasn't filled. Just fill them in with either a new start or fill them in with a project from my stash. So then I ended up filling most of them just with projects from my stash. And I think that will also help me not to start too many more projects, because there's nothing available except for the totally empty ones. Then we have reached 16, so this one and one more, and it's Epic Storybook Princesses. This is a really bad, it's a grayscale picture of just the border. Because I'm doing the border with the one where she is gonna make 2 more princesses to put on. I think Raya is gonna be one of them, because she's a Disney princess. And it's from Cloud's Factory. It's stitched. It was started 17th of November 2018, and I dyed the fabric myself. It's an 18 count, and it's gone through all the things. I did dye it, didn't like it, put it in bleach, yeah, all that kinds of stuff. I think I dyed it like 2 or 3 times. And that's where I'm at. So I have mostly been working my way down on the left side. So, and I'm not doing them in the order that Cloud's Factory is doing them, because I am doing chronologically from left to right, down, left to right, like how you would read. Cloud's Factory isn't doing that. So it's Snow White, The Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, Rapunzel, and I'm not sure what the last one is. I can't remember. And then you have from here you have Snow White, then you have Cinderella, and then you have Sleeping Beauty. And as you can see, this is Jafar from Aladdin, And this is The Princess and the Frog. So yeah. And I found a mistake in the border when I was working on this side. So all of the border I have here in the middle was frogged. So that needs to be restitched. I haven't done that yet. But when I work the border down on the sides, especially when I do also at least one of the motifs, it helps me stay on counting correctly much better. So that's why I went over to do that, because I got a lot of mistakes in that border. It's so curly, and just one of the swirls you do one thing and then the other swirl is different from the first one, so it's constantly changing, making it hard. I like much better a complicated repetitive pattern. I'm okay with, because eventually my brain will memorize how it works and I won't do any mistakes. But when it's constantly changing and it doesn't stay the same, that's when I have a problem. And last one on my list is number 17. It's Winter Queen by Mirabilia. It was started 30th of December 2017. So this one and Minnie Still Here are the only two projects I have from 2017. And I pulled this out when I finished Cinderella. But the size wouldn't fit. Like, this is a smaller size than Cinderella. So I had to put it into its own spot on the list. And at the beginning I did that bottom part, and then I counted my way up to the top and started her face. And now I have been working on her face. The skin is 1/1. And as you can see, I have got the back stitching, and I'm gonna soon get the beads in. The only reason I haven't done the beads or finished the back stitching in the hair is because this is an 8 braid. So it's really thick, and it doesn't really work well to back stitch with. But what I found is that I do the couching method, like the one on Dimensions, in this. So whenever I'm up to filming again, that's when I will do beads and the couching, and I thought I would film a stitch with me showing you how I do that. So, because on the Omnic frame I have this batting that I put over. I did it with Cinderella. It worked even on the treasures, like it worked perfectly. So when I'm rolling it up, I just put the batting there, and it protects the beads, so you can roll the beads up in the frame and work down. So when I have done all of the stitching pretty far in a section and the back stitching, then I will put in the beads before I go down, so it's constantly gonna be completed from the top down. So yeah. And I slowly started on she's holding like a cape or a part of her dress, which is with Rainbow Gallery Whisper thread. And that's also one thing that I might show you when I'm doing beads and stuff, is how I work the whisper, because I found a new method that I learned where you do the first leg of the stitch in a normal DMC, which matches the color of the whisper. And then the second leg, like the top leg of the stitch, you do the whisper thread, because then the whisper thread lasts longer, it doesn't fray as much, and you get much more of the fuzzy stuff stitched. And I can see this part, fuzzy stuff, is better than what I did down here, where I have done the full X's with the fuzzy stuff. So that's really nice, neat trick that I learned. from... I found it on Facebook. Somebody told me about it. And I don't remember his Flosstube name, but originally it was Garrett that had the whole... came up with the thing on Flosstube. Like she was saying he's the one that came up with the thing. But I haven't watched his Flosstube for several years now, so I don't remember the name. But he does a lot of frosted pumpkin stitchery projects. And it was where I saw it, they were doing an Easter pattern from Frosty Forest Stitchery, which was using fuzzy stuff. So yeah, so that's where I kind of just got that input. And this is already getting long. I'm so glad I said I'm not gonna edit, because I'm not gonna edit. So if you are tired of me, goodbye. I applaud you for staying with me so long. I knew this was gonna be a long one. Like, it's no way when it's almost 6 months since the last time I did an update. Like, let's be real. So yeah, my life. There's a lot going on right now in my life. I'm battling the healthcare system in Norway because I'm not getting the rights that I know I have the rights to with my illness, because my illness isn't one that is taken seriously. That's the big problem. There's still a lot of doctors, like even in the medical industry, there's a lot of doctors and stuff that still looks at this as just hysteria, because what they have found is ME, or chronic fatigue syndrome. I'm gonna refer to it just as ME because that's easier. Was originally what they called hysteria. They have found, like, not what they say on the movie Hysteria. It's like back in the 1800s, there is documentation that there was a lot of women that was totally, like, just burnt out. They wasn't able to do anything, and it was this epidemic that they couldn't understand. And the community, like, at that time were very male dominant. So they couldn't find a source for why it was the way it was. So they just said that, oh, it's psychological. Like, it's just hysteria. They're just a little bit depressed kind of attitude. So it was never taken serious. And that mentality, that toxic mentality, it's still it's not totally gone away in the medical industry. There's still people that view this illness as, oh, it's just psychological. Even now, when they have actually started doing research, and there is a lot of good research out there on the topic, and there is a lot of research that you have to have tested it out for X amount of time before it can be like, this is real science. So a lot of that research haven't gotten to that point, but if you look at what is already done, you can clearly see that this is a physiological illness. And I think the definition now, it's a neurological, inflammatory, systemic disease. So it consists of multiple different things. They think it might be a sister disease to MS, because MS is attacking the muscles in the body, or the body is attacking its own muscles, basically. as I have understood it. I haven't done like a ton of research on MS, but I know a little bit of it, and it's hard to explain in medical terms in English when my main language is Norwegian. So if I say anything wrong, I apologize. It's not that hard to it's hard for me to explain. So so they think it's something similar with ME, where instead of the body is like or instead of the muscles being the attacked group, it's the nervous system that is being attacked with people with ME. And they have recently found that MS is most likely an autoimmune disease, and that's the same thing they think with ME, that it is an autoimmune disease. And there's like a lot of research on, they have found that people with ME doesn't have, after exercising, you have something in your blood that helps you recover your energy. But people with ME has less of that or almost nothing at all, so they don't regain that energy the way they should because they're missing some of the key opponents in the blood and stuff. That affects like the mitochondria from doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, so it is a physiological disease that is starting to get fairly known, but there's still some people that have old-fashioned attitude and won't let go that it has to be psychological. And the problem with this is ME affects people in their daily life to the point where they can't do anything. So there is a lot of ME that's on the dark statistic of people that decide that the life isn't worth continuing. So yeah, there is a lot of depressions with people with ME, but they don't have ME because they're depressed. They're depressed because they have ME and it's affecting their life so severely. And I'm not an exception to that rule. My depression has gotten, especially with battling the healthcare system, my depression has become extremely bad. So I have sought professional help to get me through this. The problem with that again is the healthcare system might actually use that against me and say that it's just because you're depressed, so when your depression's over, you can go back to work. And it's like, no, because I couldn't work before I was depressed. Because right now I have less energy that I had a while back because I am depressed. Because yes, depression takes energy. So it's like just adding on to my already lack of energy. So I have had a lot of episodes where I basically faint. I'm so exhausted that when I try to get up from my chair to go and do something, or if I'm walking down the stairs because I'm trying to hurry to bed, I will faint. And if you faint, sometimes you can get seriously injured. So I don't know if I had this the last time I did an update. I think I did, but I broke my tailbone so I couldn't sit for a long time because I fainted and did fall down the stairs. And then I ended up, I was gonna walk on the floor. I was sitting in the chair and I was gonna walk on the floor, and while I was walking I fainted And it was like in the movement of walking this happened. So instead what happened is I twisted my whole ankle, and it got a really bad twist. And I didn't break the whole ankle like it could have. So it's really good the whole thing didn't break. And the doctors and everything, when they saw my foot and when they heard what happened, and they did like see how like my foot was twisted 180 degrees. Like instead of being forward this way, it was being that way. So they can't understand why I didn't get a serious break in my ankle. But what did happen is like a tiny piece of a bone, like your foot is made up of a lot of tiny pieces of bone. And one of those tiny pieces has a tiny piece that broke off totally. This can also happen naturally. So they didn't want to do anything about it. Like that can just happen by itself sometimes. Not like a big thing. So yeah, I broke off a tiny piece of one of the bones in my ankle. And I got a really bad twist on the ligaments. And it was so badly twisted. I wasn't allowed to walk on the foot at all for 3 days. And when I could start to walk on it again, I wasn't allowed to walk like long distances or do anything special, because it was so, I wouldn't have been able to. Like the foot was like so swollen, and it was blue and black and purple, and yeah, it was like twice the size of my other foot. So it wasn't a good thing. So I was bedridden for a long time because of that. And even still to this day, I'm still struggling with that ankle. Like now I can walk normally and stuff on it. But if I walk like a long time, I can feel like my foot is struggling to kind of be able to put weight right on the foot, like the right way. So yeah. So there's just have been a lot of, and then there has been smaller accidents and making me bedridden. So, yeah. But the good thing is, for a long time, I was thinking about starting a cross-stitching game. A friend of mine kind of told me that I should do it because I was the perfect person to do it. And then she kind of made me think about it, and then I was like, would have been fun. And it's, so I ended up making a cross-stitching group, challenge group or game, as I call it a game because it's more like a game. And that's what I wanted to make. I wanted to make a game. And at this point, I'm so happy with it, what's coming in the future, that it's the game I would want to play. Unfortunately, I can't play it because I'm the admin and there's just too much stuff for me to play like seriously in the game. But I'm gonna be in the game, and I'm already in the story of the game. So I also have a story. Not everything is written, but I kind of know where the story is going, so it's gonna be written gradually. The group is the Stitching Adventure game. It's just based on my Flosstube name, Stitching Adventure. Yeah, I just thought that was a nice thing to do. So it's a game. Right now, June has a demo that it's starting to near the end. And then the real game starts in July. That's when all of the fun is starting. it's gonna end up being a very intricate game. There's already some people that in the demo has been like, nope, I'm out, this is too complicated. And I'm like, yeah, that was one of the reasons I didn't want to do a demo. But at the same time, I think it's a good thing. Because a lot of the questions and a lot of the issues people have with the demo is gonna be implemented slowly when the game starts. It's not like you're gonna, like the demo throws at you a lot of stuff. Like, this is what you're gonna do. Which can be really hard because there's so much. And it can feel overwhelming, and I can understand why it feels overwhelming, and some people are way overthinking things. And it's supposed to be a game that you can just enjoy and have fun. And yeah, you're not supposed to it's a survival type of game, but you can't die in the game, but instead you get bad status effects. So you're supposed to get bad status effects. So it's a part of the game. I'm trying to think what I want to say more about the game. So yeah, the real game starts 1st of July. The event is out, so the first part of the story you can already read now. I think it was a really good story, and I usually don't like my own things, like what I have written and made I usually don't like. So it's surprising that I actually like the story that I did write. Everything is just based off me and my brain. And since it's played on Facebook, like there's some limitations on what I can do. Like a lot of people kind of want more complicated mechanics. But I think that's just gonna, it is possible, but it's gonna make the group be 24/7 work for me as an admin. That will mean I constantly have to be active in the group, and maybe have an extra person so that I can go to sleep. And I'm not getting paid for this group, so I'm not doing that. I'm not taking on a full-time job for a Facebook group unless I'm getting paid. And I'm not, so I just don't have that capacity. As I said, I have a chronic illness called chronic fatigue syndrome, also known as ME. So I have a lot of limitations. But the thing is, sometimes I'm too tired to sit. I can't, not even in a chair. Just sitting is too hard, so I kind of have to lay in my bed. And sometimes when I lay in the bed, I'm too tired in my body to really do anything. Like I just have to lay there. But at the same time, my brain is fully functional. So then I will often like lay and think about the group and the game and how I want to do things and what I need to implement. Sometimes I'm able to sit and write a little bit, not sit, lay and write on my iPad. Like I'm laying in bed with the iPad right in front of me. I have this thing on my iPad so I can stand up. And then I can kind of laying with one hand, hitting the keys to write on the iPad. So it's been, and especially when I'm depressed, that has happened a lot. Like I'm not physically able to stand or sit, so I'm just laying. But and it's nice to kind of get that escape to the world I have created. Because I have basically created my own world. That's the game. So yeah, it's fun. If you think it's interesting, then check it out. It's on Facebook. Remember to answer all the questions and agree to the group rules, or else you will not get get added to the group. The main game mechanic is team-based, so you are in teams and work with teams, and that's where all of the difficult mechanics are going to be, is like what the teams are doing, because that's the main game. You're in a team trying to fight to survive on this weird place you have ended up, where you don't know where you are. Things aren't looking quite what you're used to, so you don't know if you're actually on Earth anymore, or like you don't know where you are. You just know that you appeared somewhere. But there is an alternative if you don't want things to be too complicated, if you don't really want to be on a team, you don't want any depending on you and your stitching, you can be a scout. And for the scouts, I have made milestones. There's milestones for the scouts to do for the group. So the scouts, when they go out looking, exploring this place you're on, they will discover certain things that will be beneficial for the teams. It will open up new things for the teams. Some of the gameplay is locked on that the scouts are stitching. And but the scouts can also have individual milestones, which I'm not gonna spoil, but they have different milestones that they reach that are gonna improve their exploring abilities. And eventually, if you pick milestones, the idea is that they will open up shops that teams can use and benefit from in the future. Think of them like NPCs. If you have ever played any MMO, massive multiplayer online game, like World of Warcraft, you have in the towns, you have people that sell goods that are NPCs, and that's basically what the scouts will eventually become if they decide to have milestones. And if they pick milestones, they can at any time say, I don't want to do more milestones, or this is enough for me. But that's going to be available for them. Just to try and make it a little bit more fun for the people being scouts, even though the game, the scouts is basically made because I want to try and implement something for people that don't want to be on a team. But being on a team, that's where the fun is. Like, that's where all the fun is going to be. Or the main fun is going to be, is more correct. Not all the fun. The scouts is also going to have fun. So, yeah. So, the first thing that happens is in July is basically just learning how to post and learn about nesting and bulk or batch stitching when stitching. So, the people that have done the demo have already started to have to post this way. And if you have been in any cross-stitching challenge groups, this isn't anything new for you, or it shouldn't be. And the way you count your stitches works the same way as most cross-stitching groups works. And you can decide to use hours instead of stitches if you want to do that. Where instead of doing 100 stitches, you have to stitch for 1 hour. And also at the end of the month, that's when everything they have done, they have to start to implement in their skill list, because each and every person has their individual character, and that character has a skill list, and each skill they can level up. They can get better in each of the different skills. And the different skills might unlock new skills. It might unlock new things you can do. So there's a lot of hidden and locked stuff in this game that you will not know about until you actually get there. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm really excited about the game. I'm really looking forward to 1st of July. So yeah, and when we get closer to 1st of July, or maybe on the 1st of July, depending on, close to either before or after 1st of July, I did promise to go live, to be open for questions, and if people are wondering anything. So I will go live here on YouTube to do that. So yeah, and for the teams, each team has to have a team leader. You can decide that 2 of the people are like the leaders, and they work together to like divide amongst them the tasks a leader have to have. But one of them is like the leader on paper. That's the one that's in the leader chat, being able to have an easy line to me, an easy way to contact me. So there's a team leader chat. When sometimes, most likely in July, I will also make a scout chat for the people being scouts, so they have a way to contact me really easily. On Messenger. I feel like Messenger is like a good way to just get a hold of me. So yeah. And I don't think I'm a really difficult person to deal with. Like, there are some people that have contacted me personally about some stuff, and I'm one of those that are like, I would rather, like, I'm educated as a teacher. I have worked as a teacher. So, I want people, if there is issues or if they have questions, I would rather they come to me before they start doing things that are like not correct, or starts to have a lot of issues or something that is bothering them. Like, instead, just come and talk with me. I even have like set up a lot of ways, if life happens for people, I have certain things that I will then give reward to help that team that kind of have a team member out of action for a certain amount of time, that will help the team, so that you never need to feel like you have to stitch when your life is busy, because you don't. All you have to do is let me know that you will not be able to stitch for a period of time, and I will go and let the team know that they have these benefits that makes it so you being away shouldn't be too big of an issue. Like, it still might be harder on the team, but as I said, you're supposed to get status effects, like the bad things that can happen to you if you don't reach all the requirements. So, yeah. So that's what I had for you today. I have actually, yesterday, it doesn't look like it now, because as you can see, my hair is curling already because it's raining outside, and I protected my hair, but when it rains, it gets a little bit humid, and that's enough to make my hair curl. But I did get a haircut and did some stripe. I wanted it to be like as natural looking as possible, which I feel like she did a really good job, my hairdresser. And then she straightened my hair, so I really loved how it was looking. And now it's curly again. So now I'm most likely gonna find a hairband and put it up in a ponytail. And I'm so impressed that she actually managed to keep a lot of the length of my hair. Like, she cut away like really big section of my hair. Like, it was, my hair was like down to here. It was starting to get really long. And she managed to save most of it, and it's still like not, it's not like damaged hair. It's like good hair. That's there. So that's nice. And also, my husband bought me a Doctor Who t-shirt. And then a cool thing about it is if you turn off the light, all of the white spaces will glow in the dark. And if you didn't know, this is the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and he is my favorite Doctor. Yes. Him and two of my favorite companions is actually Martha, which is with the 10th Doctor, and Carla, the Impossible Girl. So yeah, now you know a little bit more about me and Doctor Who. So yes, I am a big Doctor Who fan. I have recently started to rewatch the whole show again. So that's nice. And then I'm on a rewatch binge of old series that I have completed, like Criminal Minds, Castle, Bones, White Collar, The Mentalist, Charmed, Friends. Yeah. I'm on a rewatch binge. That's what I'm doing. So, and then there's a few new good series, but I feel like most of the series now, when Netflix and HBO and stuff is making them, is like, oh, you have 10 episodes. Well, on a bad day where I'm just laying in bed, I can watch that in like a day or two. I need more. So yeah. Like The Witcher, the new Witcher season, which is came out last year. The fall of last year. Like, I think I'm watching that with my husband, so I can't like just binge watch it. But I think me and him ended up binge watching the whole thing in like 3 days. The only reason we're not done with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Miss Marvel, and The Time Traveler's Wife is some of the shows we're watching right now, is because you can only get one a week, so we have to wait a week until we can see the next one, which is a little bit boring. So yeah, highly recommend The Time Traveler's Wife. I'm not normally one for the high drama series, but I really like that one. It's just something about it. And I like how the time is like constantly shifting, so you kind of like in this series there's like small hints to what you already have seen, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's right, that's we got told, like we kind of knew that was gonna happen, and now it's happening, and it's not happening how we thought it was happening, and it's like, yeah, really fun to watch. And I have finally started to watch Flosstube again. I feel like I only have had like 3 people I have been watching the last 2 years. I am starting now to watch a little bit more. But my problem is I like to watch everything. So usually what I will do is I will find a WIP parade and I will watch from the WIP parade and then everything after. So I don't need to go back to episode 1 where there's 130 episodes. Or that the last time I watched, I was on episode 43 and now it's on episode 118. Because I'm not that fond of Flosstube. I don't know why. I had a while that I really loved watching Flosstube. That was all I was watching. Now I'm on a re-watching binge of old series. And for some reason I just want to watch that instead of Flosstube. I think it can have something with I'm struggling to pay good attention to what I'm watching and what I'm stitching when I'm watching something when I'm stitching. So watching Flosstube while I'm stitching just isn't working for me, and haven't been for a long while, because when people show project, I just can't keep up. So I'm like constantly have to go back because I missed something. So the ones that I have watched, I usually watch when I lay in bed and can't sit and stitch. If I don't have the brain capacity to work on my game, I'm just lying in bed watching Flosstube. And then I usually watch Stitching Mommy, Needle Ninja, and Hannah Dabbling. And I'm trying to keep up with the Shield Maiden. And I have a few that I like constantly try to keep up with, but it's not happening. Like Sammy Joe, Stitch and Button, Sarah from my Stitching Kingdom. Yeah, I just can't keep up. So instead I'm rewatching old series that I already have watched everything of. Because yes, I do have watched all of the 15 episodes of Criminal Minds when it came out. Like, I was binge watching that, like, not binge watching, I was following that like crazy from episode 1 until the last episode. And same with a lot of the other shows. Okay, I'm gonna leave you here. I have been rambling along. Congratulations to everyone that kept up with me for so long. But I know the reason I don't want to cut this out, because I know when I don't have these where I'm talking about what's happening in my life, a lot of people miss that. A lot of people like to hear me talk. I don't understand it, but because I'm tired of hearing myself talking. But it is what it is. And right now I don't have any like written in stone plans. What you saw, those 17 projects I'm working on, that's my plans. To work on one of those 17 projects, and mainly 5 each month. So this month it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, Halloween calendar, Lion King, Minnie still here, what was the last one? Winter's Ice. Winter's Ice, the new one. I put that on the, I think that's one of the ones I put on that list. So, and the one for July, I don't know yet what 5 they will be. But as I said, I hope Cinderella is one of them. I am trying to put in Lion King or Santa's Secret, just to force myself to work on them, because I want to finish those also. And yeah, so I'm not having any like big plans for myself. I see what prompts I have, and then I usually go with the prompts, and I usually try to do one of the 5s. I have said I'm gonna work X amount of stitches on, and stitch what I want of that limited 17 projects. I don't think it's quite stitch what you want when you want. It's a limited version of stitch what you want when you want. Yeah. Okay. Now, for real, I'm gonna say goodbye. Okay. So have a lovely day, week, whenever you see this. I hope you're doing well. I'm not doing that well, but I'm trying to do well, and I'm not giving up. And I have a lot of really good friends, especially in the cross stitch community, that is a big help in this difficult period for me. Just some people even are like, just come to me, just talk about whatever you need to ramble on about, get it off your chest, and it keeps me just going one more day. So yeah. I said, this is like the third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. I'm gonna say goodbye. I love you. Thank you all for being here. You are amazing. And yeah, you mean the world to me. And I'm sorry I'm not on here as much as I would want, but I don't have the capacity. I just thought that's the truth. It may be a stupid excuse, it might be a bad excuse, but it's the truth. It's I don't have the capacity, I don't have the mental capacity. Just how I have struggled with words in this video. Usually I don't do a Flosstube when I'm this bad. I can get worse. Like, I know this isn't like super bad. This is like, I don't know, 2 out of 10, where 10 is the worst. But I wanted to get this out and at least know I am here. I'm still alive, and it might be, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 months until next update. We'll see. Whenever my life is starting to go back to normal, how it's supposed to be, I will start to do regular updates again, because that's my goal. My goal is to sometime in the future try and start to do regular updates with either weekly or every other week do a Flosstube update. But it's gonna be a while. That's the truth. So I hope you still will hang on, stay on with me, and still be here when I'm getting back to more normal again. So take care. I hope you stitch what you want, or what you feel like stitching on, at least once a while. Have a great time, and I will see you later another time. Goodbye, everyone.